what you call it, MySpace, and
Right.
Facebook, and YouTube were initially adult sites, so
Sure.
no adult social networking sites, and
Sure.
now you have kids 5 years old on that,
Yeah.
and so you have kids,
And they can still pull up anything.
exactly.
So you're saying that with your site, when they become a part of this company and get the address from you, that even if they go on, let's say YouTube, they won't be able to pull up adult stuff?
They won't be able to go on YouTube. Actually, what will happen is they'll type in YouTube. Their parent will get a email saying your child is attempting to access YouTube, and they will get a message that says access denied.
Okay, and even though some YouTube, because the other day at the job, a guy accessed YouTube, and he pulled up the old cartoon Gigantor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or the $6 Million Man.
Right.
So they won't be able to do any of that unless they get permission from their parents.
Well, they would have to go under their parents' user icon and use their parents'
Okay.
computer. That way, their parents has to sit there and watch them do this.
Oh, okay.
Because we want to make sure that, I mean, because of course you can go on something and say, okay, I'm going to do. A kid would say, yeah, I'm only going to look at this, and when you turn your back, no telling what they're doing.
All they got to do in a case like that is type a word.
Type a word, and when you come, just hit the X and it's gone. You never know about it.
Yeah.
Until you get a virus.
I tell you, because I was looking up my mother's old church, and found of the church, Father Levi, and I typed in YouTube one night. I was just on about 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, let me just put Father Levi in there. I put Father Levi, and he came up.
Wow.
On YouTube. Father, so he's still living on YouTube. All hands up, I guess, to the peace mission, because Father's still living on the YouTube, and, still serving bread to the people on the YouTube, you know. Now, is this thing released yet? What is your release date?
Okay, well, no, it's not released yet, but we're looking at the beginning of maybe the first quarter next year, or the last quarter, the fourth quarter this year. We are still working on development. And, it takes time. We don't want to rush it because we don't want to sacrifice any security. And so, we're taking our time with it. We're making sure that we get all the kinks out of it, because the last thing we need is for someone to be able to infiltrate this site.
Sure.
Because we're going to have nothing but children on here. And the last thing, and people are going to, pedophiles will be trying to get there because it's a boatload of kids there. And so what we need to do, what we have to do, is we have to ensure that it is completely secure before we let anyone access it.
Okay, there's something to be said about that. I remember years ago being taught to run from a stranger and everything. I remember one time a stranger grabbed me and I bit him on his hand. I was taught, you know what I mean? We were taught to run from, exactly. I bit the stranger. We won't bite him today because of all kinds of things. Right. You don't know what you're going to bring home today. I don't suggest a kid to bite the stranger today. Maybe you do some karate on them or whatever. They got these little karate schools around anyway. But I remember biting a stranger on the hand. And I said, release me, stranger. We called him stranger.
Right.
But today people are inviting to, I'm just still trying to get that web thing. And I tell you to the grown-ups out there, those that have kids, if you're not computer savvy, all right, fine. But you really need to watch them young people on computer. They get on that computer and they deliver. I mean, I know a young man, in fact, I was going to bring him here today. His name is Joe. He get on that computer and he's on that computer like it's like, I mean, his hands, his fingers just like skip across the keys. Right. You see what I mean? I'm still with one finger at one time. I'm trying to learn my way and everything. But I tell you, it's a shame. Now,
one thing, the beauty of our site is that now, if a parent downloads our site, they no longer have to watch the child because everything that's on our site will be approved by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Wow.
So there's no longer you have to monitor that child because they can't access anything they're not supposed to access anyway. Now, quarterly, a parent can say, I want to see everything my child looked at. Sure. And we will send them that for free.
Okay.
So we're helping parents parent.
And anytime they call in, you guys will send whatever they want.
Exactly. We're helping the parents parent, and we're keeping the kids safe. And so we're trying to accomplish everything at one time.
And today, in today's world, where the parents work so hard today, and I want to say this right here to the young people out there that you're gonna have to step up the game yourself too, because I say this right here. Your parents are working today. The average car today is $35,000 to $50,000. The Reverend got off a few months ago and got a low-end Honda CRV for $19,050, and that was about the lowest end. That was the low end.
That was good.
That was low end, boy. They would clap their hands at Planet Honda. I'll do a commercial for you guys. Planet Honda. They just clap their hands at the Reverend brought this little cheap, not cheap. I mean low end. Right, I love the little vehicle, but it was a low end. And I say this here to you young folks as you're getting ready to go to school too. Step up the game. Become a little bit more responsible. Some of you guys today are living in houses that's $200,000, $300,000, $400,000.
Yeah.
And you know what? Parents need help too.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
They need help too. Now, how will you positively identify the registered user?
Well, we have a process that we have patented actually that it's a list of questions. The actual registration form for our site is the key. After the questions are asked, we will check everyone's name and what have you against the National Sex Registry, so we can ensure that we will keep all the registered sex offenders off of the internet, off our browser. Now, I have to say registered because if a person, if there's a, heaven forbid, a father or something like that who's a sex offender, we don't, and he's never been caught, we don't know that, and so we can't do anything about that. But what we can do is ensure that no registered sex offenders are on, and if a person is not is a sex offender not registered, and they do something inappropriate, we can positively identify that person through our process, our patented process. We can knock on their door, and we can ask them by name, and if we need a picture of them, we can get a picture of them. We can provide a picture of them. We have everything. We have all the information, and it's impossible to disguise your identity.
Okay.
And the problem with the internet now is that a person can be anonymous if they choose to be.
That's the truth.
And so what we're doing is fixing it so that it's impossible to be anonymous.
And that right there is a very, very important thing, because a lot of people complain about being tracked.
Right.
And I say, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't worry about it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And we had that question. People say, well, you know, I may not want to give up the last 4 of my Social Security number because that positively identifies me. Well, if you don't want to give it up, if you don't want other children to be safe against you, why should you be safe against someone else's parent?
So each one of the kids have to give up their last.
No,
to the parent.
We're gonna say, okay, kids don't have identifications.
Sure.
So we can't positively identify them, but their parent has an identification. So what we can say is, okay, cool, we're going to make you responsible for this one child.
Okay.
And so if anything happens with this child's username,
sure,
we're coming to get you.
All right.
Now, if you came and got me and told me my child had done something inappropriate and I'm about to go to jail, we're going to talk to this kid.
You got to we'll share some of that time. Son, you're going to have to do some of that time. I'm not trying to be on lockdown.
And so if a kid lets his friend use it, and his friend lets his father use it, and you know, and his father happens to be a pedophile or something of that sort, then your child will come and say, hey, Daddy, I let this person use it. And then you tell the police, go talk to them. And that way, you still, instead of the police searching the entire world for a pedophile, they can knock on one door, ask for one person. And it starts with one person. You started with one person, you just eliminated, you know, the process down to almost nothing.
You know, and that right there is so important that we, you know, I tell you, you know, we're going through like a mini revolution. I sometimes feel like it's 1776, I think it was, and everything. I feel like we're fighting the British. I don't mean that in a negative way. You know, negative way today. You know, we're all friends. But I tell you, this is something that's going on, and I think that it is time that we step up the game, get a better understanding of what's going on with the computer. The computer world, I imagine, because I get emails that's just off the hook.
Oh yeah.
You know, you understand me? I mean, I get some crazy stuff.
You can get $1 million.
Huh?
You even get $1 million.
Yeah, I got $1 million, and somebody died and left me. And
always,
you know.
Yeah,
you know,
I get that one too.
Silkworm or whatever, had a silkworm business. Well, they know what to do. And just to say that some people will fall prey to that today. It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's sad also to know that some kids will fall prey. I mean, we were taught something different. I don't know. Kick the cat in the knees, the shin, or whatever the case. Anything, you understand me? Knock them upside the head. You know, all kinds of things. And I don't know what we're doing today. I think that with the internet and with all this knowledge that's traveling, that we just have not caught up yet.
Right.
But watch out. We're learning how to catch up.
We got to catch them.
We got to catch up. We got to catch up with the way the information's being transmitted. Exactly. We just got to catch up, you know. And so I tell you, I pray that we learn our way. Now, is there any way to contact you? Because we only got about 3 more minutes.
Okay, yeah. If anyone would like to contact us, we can be contacted at t.s.w@live.com.
t.s.w. And it's live?
At live.com.
Oh, at live.
Live, yeah. TSW is the name of the company. The Safe Web is the name of the company.
So it's t.w.
No, t.s.w.
.w. Okay. And no dot after that W.
No, sir.
Just at.
Yes, at live.com.
Oh man, yeah.
The Safe Web.
The Safe Web. That's what this is called. The Safe Web.
Yes, sir. Okay,
and so next year you should have this thing ready.
That's our goal. You know, you may run into a kink. I mean, a block. I mean, we'll step over it. But next year, definitely we will be up.
And you're going to be down. You're down in Washington, Maryland area.
Exactly.
You're right there.
Exactly.
You right, and I tell you,
short drive.
Short drive. You called me this morning and said you were on the road. I said, "Whoa, you get on the road this morning?" I think I was in the middle of doing. I don't know what I was doing, exercise or doing something. I was working around the house. I said, "My God, you're only going to be on the road." I said, "You sure you're going to make it?" But here you are. So now, it's so important today that we move up on this stage, church people out there, that you really get an understanding of what's going on that internet, you know, because some of us is still not real yet.
Right.
You know, it's not real. And, you know, because sometimes they tell me I have a free laptop. And I go through the thing for about an hour, and then come to find out, you know, you got to buy so many things. I said, well, you know what? Time I finish buying this right here, I might as well go ahead and buy me a laptop, you know. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that us mature people have not yet got a great relationship with that computer, but I reckon that we had better change that
soon
because it's real.
Right.
You know, I'm just learning that you can really pay bills online. I didn't know that.
A little further than that one.
Yeah. I had no clue. I thought that right there didn't work, you know. I was paying the mailman for the stamps, and I'm sorry, I don't buy as many stamps as I used to buy either, right. You know. So, you know, it's just something that we have. We got about 30 seconds, Ray. You want to say anything to the audience?
Well, we'll be ready for you in about... It will be sometime in the first quarter next year. So, again, our email address is t.s.w@live.com.
All right, church and studio audience, because everybody listened to Harvest Radio. We're glad to have Ray Spires here. And again, next week is the convention, the Democratic Convention. And I guess I end today with this because I will not be here next week. Keep hope alive. Reverend Branch will stand in for me. Thank you.
You've been listening to The Town Talker with Reverend Zechariah A. Jackson, founding pastor of the Church of What's Happening Now in Plainfield, New Jersey. If you'd like to contact Reverend Jackson, call 908-361-2761. That's 908-361-2761. Or by email at airport36@verizon.net. Tune in to Harvest Radio again next week at this same time for another edition of The Town Talker.
The camera's still rolling?
Sunday, Monday,
We got to change that to